If you're seeing the Clipchamp internal server error, don't worry, because in this video I'll walk you through the quickest fixes step by step. This error usually happens when a project is too heavy, your browser is overloaded, or Clipchamp is having trouble processing your export. The good news is that there are several simple things you can try to get your project working again without starting over. If this tutorial helps you out, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more quick tech fixes. Let's get into it. First, open Clipchamp and go to the project that is showing the error. The goal here is to identify whether the problem happens when the project loads, when you edit, or when you try to export. If the project itself opens normally, that's a great sign because it means the issue may be tied to export settings or browser performance rather than your entire project being corrupted. The first fix is to reduce the export quality. This is one of the easiest ways to get around an internal server error, especially if your project includes a lot of high-resolution clips, effects, or transitions. To do this, go to Editor, then choose Export, and switch the export resolution to 720p instead of a higher setting. Lowering the quality reduces the processing load on Clipchamp, and in many cases that is enough to get the export to go through successfully. Next, close any other tabs or apps you're not using. Clipchamp can use a lot of memory, especially on larger projects, so if your browser is already running too many tabs, the upload or export process may fail. Close anything unnecessary in the background, especially video apps, cloud sync tools, or other browser tabs that are eating up RAM. Then go back to Clipchamp and try again. If you're still getting the error, the next step is to enable hardware acceleration. This allows your computer to help with video processing instead of relying only on your browser. In Clipchamp, open Settings, then go to System, and find the option for Use Hardware Acceleration. Turn it on, then relaunch the app or browser when prompted. After it restarts, open your project again and test the export. This can make a big difference on slower systems or larger timelines. Another very important fix is to remove heavy effects and transitions. Sometimes the internal server error happens because one or more elements in the timeline are too demanding. Things like complex transitions, filters, layered graphics, or animated effects can overload the project. Go through your timeline and try temporarily removing the heaviest effects, then export again. If the error disappears, you've found the cause, and you can add items back in one at a time to see which one is triggering the issue. If your project is very large, try splitting it into smaller parts. A long timeline with lots of media can cause Clipchamp to struggle, especially during export. Instead of exporting everything in one file, divide the project into sections and export each one separately. Then you can combine them later if needed. This is a smart workaround when a single large project keeps failing no matter what settings you change. Now let's clear the cache. Over time, browser cache and stored site data can interfere with Clipchamp and cause strange errors like this one. To clear it, go into Settings, then Privacy, then choose Clear Browsing Data. Make sure you remove cached files and any related temporary data that could be affecting the app. Once that's done, restart your browser and sign back into Clipchamp. This refresh often fixes hidden loading or processing issues. If the error is still happening, try using a different browser. Clipchamp tends to work best in Chrome or Edge, so if you're using another browser, switch over and test it there. Even if you're already on Chrome, updating it or trying Edge may help. Browser compatibility issues can sometimes trigger internal server errors, especially if extensions or outdated settings are getting in the way. And speaking of extensions, if you have ad blockers, script blockers, or privacy extensions installed, temporarily disable them while testing Clipchamp. These extensions can sometimes interfere with the way the editor loads or exports video. If disabling them fixes the issue, you can re-enable them one by one to find the one causing the conflict. At this point, if your export still fails, go back and test the project with the simplest possible setup. Start with a lower resolution, fewer effects, and fewer tabs open. The goal is to reduce the workload as much as possible and isolate the exact thing causing the internal server error. In most cases, one of these fixes will solve it. So to recap, open your Clipchamp project, lower the export quality to 720p, close extra tabs and apps, enable hardware acceleration, remove heavy effects, split large projects into smaller sections, clear your cache, and use Chrome or Edge. Those steps solve most Clipchamp internal server error problems quickly and safely. If this video helped you, please hit the like button, subscribe for more tutorials, and I'll see you in the next one.